Hey everybody, it's PartyElite. Welcome back to IXION Let's Play, where we're currently trying to save the Protagoras from its rather precarious position here in the Immortan system's ice field. So right next to Tatra V8, the Protagoras has been found. It's got a few survivors, it's got quite a few cryonic pods that need collecting, and it's got quite a few situations that need solving. Lesson learned, we should probably focus on our primary objective before getting distracted by secondary objectives and opportunities, because, you know, they'll reveal a bunch of moves you have to make, and it'll take a lot of time to actually make those moves, and at the same time, you're going to be suffering from that -1 to stability from having spent too long in the system. At least, that's the situation here right now. I do hope that -1 does not escalate to a -2 or a -3, because currently things are very finely balanced as far as stability is concerned, but on the bright side, the establishment of our colony up here at DV59 means we are now generating science, and I do hope that there's a lot of science to be generated here. I don't know if there is a cap, I don't know if it's a consistent generation of science, but either way, I do know we're going to send the Galileo over to pick all that science up to help, speed up the rate of research and hopefully speed up the rate at which we get access to better quarters and more room as well for people to live in. Separately, we do want to try and send this probe out now. I know I was trying to hold it in our back pocket, but now our situation is very different from what I had in mind when I was saying that, and we're going to try and seek out additional sources of iron and carbon and really anything, because we're going to move the Tiqqun, and I want to make sure we move it somewhere where it's optimally placed, right? Currently, we've mined out and I think even picked up the cargo from all of the nearby, sources, let's call them, and so I want to make sure that if we're going to move somewhere else, we have more nearby than less. Obviously, that just makes sense. So we're going to not just launch this probe, but many more, and try and scout out this region over here, because I do believe this will probably be the ideal spot to send the Tiqqun. There are quite a few resources to collect. There's iron, there's carbon, we got some polymers up over here as well at MacR, there's silicon, there's all sorts of stuff closer to here than over here, and right now our cargo ships and mining ships are moving, into these ice fields to pick those resources up, and just having to move so much further. So we could cut their movement down, like the amount of time they invest in moving back and forth down, and that will, I think, help us stay on top of some of our circumstances, let's call them. But before we can move the Tiqqun, we're going to have to establish some batteries up over here in Sector 3. Sector 2 and Sector 1 have more than enough batteries to move us, short distances. We'll be just fine with about 2 cycles worth of batteries. But Sector 3 over here definitely needs batteries, and they will take quite a bit of time to build because we don't have enough alloys to build them just quite yet. But we can at least place them and plan around them. I think this is a good spot for them because, again, over here I'm going to probably want to place EVA airlocks and stuff like that, but we're going to have to put batteries down somewhere, so why not over here? I mean, I guess I have this area in the center as well. That's always an option too. We can always move them later. For the time being, this is our temporary solution. Let's go ahead and place 2 batteries down. That's about 80 alloys, so yes, it will be some time before we're actually able to build them, but hey, at least we're making progress. And on the topic of progress, yes, as far as tech is concerned, once we're done researching the waste treatment center, we should have access to this 3rd tier of technology, even though it doesn't look like tier 3. It's what the game is labeling it, because it goes 0, 1, 2, 3. Hang on a second. Why is this called tier 3? If this is 0, 1, 2, 3, this should certainly be called tier 4. Anyway, whatever. I don't care about what tier it's called. What I care about is here at crew quarters, we would like to try and get smart homes going. And we would also like to try and chase after demotic quarters to, yes, house more people, because don't forget, we have quite a few people coming through in the form of cryonic pods that are being picked up from, the Protagoras, right? Now, on the topic of the Protagoras, we should also just make some adjustments as far as what our mining ships are doing. I want to try and get rid of the ice that's blocking the Protagoras. I think that'll be quite helpful to do sooner rather than later. And while we have these 2 cargo ships over here chasing after the cryonic pods, we have Quicksilver and Pandora at the 2nd sector focusing on iron. I do think they'll need a bit of assistance with a 3rd cargo ship, the Zoti. I'm not familiar with that name or what it means or anything like that, but hey, what I am familiar with is its duties. Once it's ready to go, we'll have it picking up iron as well. And I just want to make sure, as far as the Cataphract's ice mining is concerned, well, first of all, I want to make sure that the Conan is doing something as well. Let's go ahead and get you mining shore carbon. But Cataphract, I want to make sure the ice you're mining is actually the ice on the Protagoras. Let's make this high priority, and let's just try and make progress on as many of these as we can at the same time so that we're able to leave this system, yes, sooner rather than later. With all that set up, though, let's go ahead and resume time and see how quickly we're able to proceed and, yeah, move the Tiqqun to a more convenient location with the completion of these batteries. But hopefully things will be relatively smooth sailing this session. Things are getting a bit more nerve-wracking, right? As we saw last session, and even the session prior to that, I was starting to get a little comfortable, but I was wrong to do that. And as more of these cryonic pods get awoken, we'll see even more pressure and tension and stress. We'll have to stay on top of moving population appropriately. We'll have to stay on top of getting our quarters upgraded sooner rather than later as well. And I'm really hoping that the science being generated up over here at the V59 is going to, kind of sustain the technological development that we need for the next however long it takes to get the work at Protagoras done. And this will take quite a bit of time. We're still shipping alloy over. After that's done, we have to ship what else over? Food over, and then separately, if we will be repairing the superstructure as well, that involves even more alloy and polymer on top of that too. So there's a lot of work to be done, and I'm not sure how long it's going to take us to get it all done. Actually, separately, I just want to make sure that over here, if and when the carbon comes through, we want to turn our polymer refinery back on, right? Because we don't want to run too low on polymers. And separately as well, I want to make sure that we are, in fact, building drones with relative consistency, because I do want to send them out. Sorry, I said drones, I meant probes. I do want to send them out. I do want to keep an eye on, yes, where those ideal resource deposits actually are. So when it is time to move the Tiqqun, we ideally only have to move it once, and we get to a sweet location and never have to move it again before we're actually departing this system. But overall, I'd say things are looking pretty good. Food is looking fantastic. We are going to get past our population problem for sure, though we'll stumble into a different kind of population problem, the other end of the spectrum of population problems. But if we're able to stay on top of research, then you know what, that won't actually be a problem. We have solutions for food. Again, as I've said before, we can always get rid of this EVA airlock. We can put down mushroom walls. We can put down more fields if we feel it's necessary. We got options. So not too concerned yet. I'm sure that'll change down the line. I'm sure there will be an opportunity for me to get a lot more concerned than I am right now. But overall, how is our probe doing? It's making its way over. Let's speed time up a little bit, and let's go ahead and launch our next probe as well. I thought I saw some pretty sweet spots up over here for even more iron and carbon. We got something over here. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, and we'll keep launching these probes as the Zoti is done and shipping iron. We got to stay on top of this, right? Because yeah, these are not good numbers. 6-4 alloy. That's not good. Fortunately, hull integrity is looking pretty solid, so even when those EVA airlocks shut down because we don't have any alloys, we'll be okay for quite a bit of time. But it's only a matter of time before we're not in that position. And look, I don't want to be there. Right, I don't want to be there. I want to be past that conversation once and for all. Now, what is actually the population situation over here? We have room for about 20 or so more people, so that's all well and good. In Sector 2, we have room for about 60, 70 more people. And in Sector 3, we have room for about 90 more people, give or take. So, all right, fair enough. We're not in a rush to build additional housing anywhere, so that's all well and good. And separately, the probe has completed its scan all the way out over here. That's all well and good. And we're about to launch yet another probe to head on over to where? We're already going there. Is there another thing to explore? Oh yeah, there's some silicon available here. Ooh, quite a bit of it actually. Sure, let's pop on over to there. And it does seem as though this is the right spot for the Tiqqun to end up. Now, granted, that's sort of like confirmation bias, right? If we're only scouting this region, we're only going to reassure ourselves that this is where we should go. Obviously, I'm aware of that. But even when we look around, it seems as though this is where all the action is. We don't have any probes available to launch, so I can't show you. But it seems as though this, yes, is where all the action is, alongside in here. But obviously, we can't actually move the Tiqqun in there, as the waste treatment center has now been unlocked. So we can go ahead and take a look at not the actual construction, but yes, our tech tree. And we can take a look at what's available on this outer ring. So a couple of things aren't even available to us, but separately we have the nuclear power plant, which again turns hydrogen into power, which is something we will want at some point in time. We got the water treatment center over here, uses 50 waste per cycle to fulfill all water needs in a sector. Oh, wow. Okay, that's huge. We got the train station. Speeds up crew transfer between sectors. Also allows for the expansion of some buildings' influence to all sectors. Still doesn't specify which buildings, eh? I wish it would. I wish it would. Drone bay constructs and stores drones. Oh, wow. It's like I looked into the future. I said drones earlier in this session without realizing they were even an option in this game. But what does this do? Constructs and stores drones. They can be used to quickly transfer up to 10 units of resources at a time between sectors. Okay. Okay. Don't feel that level of pressure just quite yet, but good to know that's an option. We've got the algae farm over here. Allows for the creation and automatic harvesting of up to 4 algae plantations using a moderate amount of water to produce a large amount of food. How large are we talking over here? More than the crop farms? Maybe. Okay, that's it's good to know. We got the observatory over here. This will help with stability. All right, sounds good. But reduces the max hull integrity of the Tiqqun by 25. Wow. Makes sense. That's kind of a cool way to balance it out, but good to know that we have that as an option. The Exo Fighting Dome provides +2 stability in the sector. The bonus can be extended to each sector connected via train station. Oh, interesting. So it actually highlights where we where we'll see the benefit of the train station. Okay. It's an interesting way to do it, but fair enough. We've got the Hull Temple over here, provides +1 stability, whilst the cult of the Hull is propagating in a sector. Interesting. Don't like the idea of having a cult on board. And then we've got the Health Center, capacity to heal up to 100 injured crew members simultaneously. It can accommodate injured crew members from other sectors connected by train stations. Ah, all right, now we're talking. Interesting stuff, but that all can wait, I think, as we focus, yes, on some additional upgrades for our crew quarters. Perhaps we should rush the domotic quarter as we, bring more and more cryonic pods in and waken them up. Smart homes will take some time to get because first at the cryonic center we'll need group decryonization, which is where the cryonic center is. Where you at, buddy? I'll find you eventually. I know you're out there somewhere. Cryonic center. I know. I know it's here somewhere because we had to research it previously. I think it's on this side, cryonic center. There it is. It was underneath that pop-up. Group decryonization requires what? Controlled thermal shock. So that'll take quite a bit of time to actually get to. And you know what? Getting controlled thermal shock and group decryonization will actually sort of accelerate the timeline as far as needing more housing. So that's rather ironic, which means we'll focus on the demotic quarters for our crew quarters, get that researched as quickly as possible, start upgrading some of these houses and get those benefits from the high quality accommodations, and then we can double back and get the upgrades to our cryonic center and then chase after, yes, smart homes. Okay, cool. I'm glad I looked into that before I dove in with both feet. Back to the system map, and let's get this probe moving out to where? Probably down over here again, just diving full bore into our confirmation bias. I kid. I do think this is probably the most valuable place to go, because if we look elsewhere, yes, there's some ice over here, there's some carbon over here. I thought there was a sweet spot up over here somewhere. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that's not nearly as enticing, truth be told. But there is a lot in here, and quite a bit of it is right in the middle. So it's not like being on one side or the other is better. I mean, there is... Ooh, what was that? I thought I saw... Well, this is pretty good. Where'd you go? Come on. There you are. Is there anything else nearby? No. So let's go ahead and send this probe up over here, which again is kind of actually, yes, closer to this zone. Fair enough. Are our batteries ready? I don't think so. These guys are still being built. We just don't have the alloys, eh? Oh, boy. All right. Again, the primary concern is obviously the EVA airlocks, which we could shut down for the time being if we do want to make our battery construction over here more urgent. Let's make sure one of these is set to a high priority, just so that we're not distributing alloys between these two structures. I don't think we would be, but just to play it safe, I think we'll go ahead and assign that. And otherwise, it's kind of like a bit of a waiting game over here as we try to produce alloys and move them over to the right spot. I mean, hey, on the bright side, we have a lot of iron now, and it's just a matter of these two steel mills just working away. This makes me feel a lot more comfortable just knowing that I have that much iron on hand, and separately, I should also keep an eye on our situation with regards to, shipping alloys over. Where is, well, who's actually shipping the alloys over, right? Let me take a look over here. Who do we assign? It just says a ship is on the way. Will it not tell me which ship is on the way? I forget now who we assigned, and I apologize for that, but is it perhaps you? The Koala? Yeah, Koala sounds right. I remember that now. So Koala's heading over with 30 alloys. which means, yes, another round trip of alloys and food is necessary. Hopefully, but by saying that, I mean hopefully the next round trip isn't going to be just alloys. Hopefully it'll be alloys and food, and then it'll be 3 round trips of food before we're able to, spend the 2 cycles to get the work here done. My goodness, that is a huge investment. But hey, at least we're not going to, keep needing more and more alloys, and we'll be able to use the alloys for our construction inside the Tiqqun now, rather than just helping the Protagoras. Nonetheless, let's speed time up again because I think we're in a pretty comfortable spot. And as I say that, of course, we get an accident happening at the docking bay over here. Not the end of the world, but certainly not ideal either. It's okay. It's okay. Sector 1 is seeing some food issues because we need more mess halls. Now, do I want to build that mess hall, or do I just want to move people around? In Sector 2, we're having some issues with our infirmaries. That's not ideal. Ooh, hang on a second. 26 crew members are injured in Sector 2, and this infirmary is not about to see that many beds free up. Not anytime soon at all. So, do I actually build another infirmary here for the time being? I think so. But if I do build another infirmary here, how long and how many resources will it take? 40 alloys. I don't know how quickly we can get that up and running. Hopefully quickly enough. Let's go ahead and plant you down over here, I suppose. This used to be where housing was located, but that's not as much of a priority now. We have room for housing down over here as well, right? So we'll do that instead. And yes, we'll put these infirmaries side by side, I suppose. As separately, we need to consider, yes, the food situation down over here, which I think is probably ideally solved by adjusting population management, right? We have 511 people here. We have room for, what, about 60 or so in Sector 2. So why don't we go ahead and get... how many workers do we need over here? We need 205. Okay. Why don't we go ahead and move 40... Or why don't we do this? Why don't we move 40 non-workers from Sector 1 to Sector 3? Sector 3 is able to sustain an additional 90 or so people. It doesn't need that many more workers, and so we can only move non-workers, or we can opt to move only non-workers over, and we don't have to worry about that extra layer of consideration. I think that's the right call right now. So sure, let's go ahead and do that. Cool. Hopefully that'll allow us to balance the need for additional mess hall. Now, again, we've made room for it, and we absolutely can build another mess hall over here, but there are other things I want to prioritize those alloys for, primarily the infirmary over here, and then the battery over here. The infirmary is very much the priority now, I would say, because we don't want anybody dying if we can avoid it, right? So make that the higher priority, and let's remove high priority construction. I don't know if that applies across multiple sectors, but just in case it does, I want to play it safe. We do have 15 alloys available. Where? Not here, unfortunately, in a different sector, but hopefully these guys will be done soon. There's another 15 coming through, right? And then we'll have another 15 after this guy's accident is taken care of. Oh my goodness, okay. Let's, we need another 20. We need another 20. Where are these alloys located? In this sector? Yeah. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and do a little bit of resource management over here. We can get you down to 5 alloys and ship the rest over to Sector 2, please. Please. We needed Sector 2. Now another probe has completed another scan. Why don't we go ahead and launch an additional one? We have plenty of polymers still left and some available to be picked up as well, so that's all well and good. And yes, there's also carbon out there to be mined and processed when necessary. Iron. I want to find iron first. Always my priority. Looks like, yeah, that's an okay spot, sure. Why don't we send you over there? And as soon as those batteries are done, we will be, yes, moving the Tiqqun. But that'll be some time. That will be some time as we've had an accident in Sector 2, and separately it looks as though this infirmary is no longer needed. Okay, fair enough. If that's the case, then that's the case. Did we lose a lot of... Did people die? 19 crew members were injured in the steel mill. Another 9 were injured in the docking bay. That's Sector 3. So wait, do we no longer need this infirmary? I guess not. That's weird. I'm not sure how that worked out. It would have told us if people died. We're not getting that warning. I'm going to go ahead and keep this infirmary paused for the time being. If we have a situation where we need another infirmary built, we're, partway there already, at least collecting all the resources. But if nothing comes up in the next little while, I might just cancel this entirely, especially if we want to, yes, build up the housing over here. Separately, I do just want to take a look at the colony over here. Are we able to see anything? Infrastructure is present on the planet. Are we done collecting science? Is there no more to collect? Is that all? If we bring the Galileo back to the Tiqqun, what happens? Nothing. I don't have that icon anymore, so I guess that tells me that we are no longer going to see any science generated over here. Wow, that was very short-lived. A lot more short-lived than I'd anticipated, truth be told. But hey, what are you going to do as our mining ships are making their way over to the PRECARIOUS to deal with the ice there? I say mining ships, it's just the one of them. The Conan should head over as well. And iron is going to start getting kind of tight within the next, I don't know, maybe 10 cycles or so. Hopefully we're out of here by then, but that seems to be, I think, the runway we have. Give or take a couple cycles maybe, but separately as well. I mean, geez, we have to, yes, collect all of these cryonic pods too, right? God, it's going to take some time. And again, once we move the Tiqqun down over here, I'll probably, plop us down over here. The distance to the PRECARIOUS will be reduced significantly, yes, but it's still quite a journey that we'll have to take. So it's not like we're going to suddenly see things get solved within a moment's notice or with a snap of a finger or whatever you want to call it. Nonetheless, it is what it is, and I think what it is just fine. Let's speed time up a little bit further. We are zeroed out on iron once more, but hopefully that's just a temporary set of circumstances. Come on, with 3 cargo ships, I'm surprised we're still hitting those zeros. But again, I do think it's just a matter of us moving into the more convenient spot, right? Like once we're able to pick up iron from some of these locations and oh, look at that, especially 415 up over here. Yeah. We'll make this high priority to mine and collect, though I'm pretty sure our mining ships will figure it out themselves as well. In fact, why don't we get the cataphract over here mining iron, and we'll go ahead and prioritize this so that when we do end up moving over to here, all that's left to do is ship that iron over and this iron over here as well. And we don't have to worry about waiting for it to get mined out first or anything like that. That sounds good to me. Another probe is ready to go. We could send you... There's ice over here. There's carbon. Look, there's no lack of resources, so that's promising at least. What else have we got? Now, it was pointed out to me before, a couple of sessions ago in the comments, that like, if we hover over here, you see how the iron is pinging green? That's actually ignoring what we've already discovered. So there's something more to be found over here, which is good to know. It doesn't seem like a very rich deposit, but hey, it is a deposit. Oh, this is a rich deposit. Let's go ahead and send the probe there. And the next one we can send down over here to see what iron there is. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Because this is all silicon, so that means there's something here we haven't seen yet. Fair enough. Fair enough. And sorry, flipping back and forth over here, just to see. All right, DV59 is still generating more science. So do I keep the Galileo there, or do I want to keep pulling it back and sending it sort of back and forth to make sure we're generating science? I can't tell if the presence of the Galileo is getting in the way of generation of science. I'm not 100% sure. I'll try and keep an eye on it, but nonetheless, we're sending the Galileo over right now, and if nothing else, we'll go ahead and ship it back and forth between Rokitansky and DV59, just so that we're not going all that far before going back towards DV59. Nonetheless, next probe is ready to go, so let's send you down over to here, sure, as promised, and yeah, let's just see the progress we're making over here. This battery is done. We have enough for 0.7 cycles, which is not enough, so I will wait for the battery here to get charged up, and we'll wait for the second battery to be built up as well, and then we'll go ahead and make our moves. Separately, I am wondering about the construction of additional EVA airlocks over here. How many workers are in Sector 3? 119, and we need 102. We got housing capacity for what? About another 50 or so people? And how many workers does an EVA airlock actually need? It needs about 9 more people. Oh, that's not bad. Oh, there you go. Now we know that our work at DV59 has actually been completed. We've got a straight up notification about it. All right, fair enough. Well, hey. Oh my goodness, hang on a second. Oh, that's huge. 96 science? Wait. Oh, that's massive. Okay, cool. So not only were they generating science to be picked up, they also were generating science sort of behind the scenes and then immediately just dumped it on us, which is excellent. And now there's also even more to explore at DV59. Cool. Okay, well, you know what? I'm very pleased with how that's worked out, and that's going to be very beneficial for our Development, yeah. Oh my goodness, that's huge. That is huge. Anyway, what was I talking about? Right, EVA airlocks. Do I want to go ahead and build more of them over here? Do we have the alloys for it? No, but if we disassemble some of these EVA airlocks, we will have the alloys for them, right? It's an option. It's certainly an option, but what's the rush? The rush, I suppose, is needing to bring alloys to only one place in order to get the EVA airlocks working. But the thing is, we'll be sacrificing the +5 from optimal working conditions for every sector where we don't have an EVA airlock, right? So that's something to consider as well. We will be losing that benefit and the 1.6 buff as well. Maybe something we'll consider down the line, but right now let's go ahead and consider what's going on, yes, at DV59 and this event over here. We have completed our studies on DV59. We estimate colonization success rates of planets like DV59 to be 2.73%. Please authorize extraction preparation. Wait, why would we even want to sever communications with the colonists? Dulles' contractual terms stipulate the possibility of crew member abandonment in the event of an emergency situation. The colonists were aware of what they signed up for. Okay, well, we don't need that right now, but clearly that's an option for future situations, and I don't know if I like that. But for the time being, we will repatriate the colonists. Repatriate, patriate, right? Anyway, the colonists on DV59 have completed their work. They will prepare for extraction. Yes, I think that's fair to do. They belong on the Tiqqun. We will not be leaving them behind. They don't pose a threat to us or anything, but we will want to prepare, of course, for their housing, right? Because here in Sector 3, we only have room for, what, about 50 more people, right? And they are 60 colonists, which means we don't have enough room. So let's go ahead and make sure we don't actually have any issues when they arrive. Demotic quarters are available now, and they take slightly more space, it looks like. Or no, they have the exact same footprint. Is that right? They're slightly wider? Yes, they are slightly wider. Ooh, hang on, that's interesting. No, they're not. They're exactly the same. Hang on, I can see it right here. It's written 3x6. They're the exact same size. Well, they'll house so many more people. Okay, cool. Sounds good to me. Let's go ahead and start making some progress over here. Let's get rid of these optimized quarters. We'll end up with 20 homeless people, but we'll very quickly, of course, replace it with the demotic quarters, and we'll slowly but surely, yes, spread that upgrade around. Let's get this done first, acquire those alloys, use some of them, I suppose, to build up the battery down over here, and then continue building up the housing over here. That's huge, but let's not get distracted, or too distracted. Let's go ahead and pursue the Nihei Quarter Protocol. No, we don't need that too urgently. We do need the cryonic center's controlled thermal shock. Research that next. Though I do also wonder about the suspended beds for infirmaries being a bit of a priority. You know what I mean? And I shouldn't lose sight of things like the train station and the benefits it gives us through, for example, the Exo Fighting Dome. +2 stability for every sector where we have a train station. That's no joke. And I might actually want to rush that after we're done taking care of all the housing things, right? Because we just have so many people coming to the Tiqqun right now. I still feel like that's a priority. But once all the housing stuff is taken care of, I think, yes, that's when maybe we should consider train stations and Exo Fighting Domes. I don't know how I feel about the fighting domes. I feel like that's inviting trouble. You know, betting rings, well, people dying at the fighting domes. I don't know how I feel about that. I'll be honest with you. Little nervous. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be just fine. Down over here. Okay, good stuff. You are being built up. The alloys are being stockpiled up over here. We do have electronics available as well. I noticed the demotic quarters, because they're that much better, they do in fact need electronics as well. Galileo has retrieved all signs from DV59. That sounds good. And I imagine those colonists are going to make their way back now as well. How does that work? Well, I guess we're about to find out. The colonists have prepared for extraction. They are waiting for cargo ship retrieval and data listening protocol. And now it's just a matter of sending a cargo ship over. Gotcha. Okay, well, again, we're not in a super rush to do that. Let's go ahead and make sure our housing situation is actually fixed first. Back to the interior over here. Let time move a little bit faster as we get this cleared out. And then we'll go ahead and, yeah, get some of these upgrades in place and hopefully see an improvement to stability as well. And then we'll bring those people back. Yeah, I can't believe it's the exact same footprint. That's cool. Just a bit more of an investment, I suppose, as far as like construction materials are concerned. And separately, Sector 1 might finally need that second mess hall. Like how much time can I spend juggling population like this, right? Do we want to send more people over to Sector 2? That doesn't make sense. I want to send more non-workers to Sector 3. Yeah, I suppose we'll do that. Sector 1 and send how many people over? We're building another house or another structure that'll house 90 people. So that takes this number up to 246, which means we have room for about 30 people. Because again, 60 are coming back, right? Oh, actually, no, not 30 people, 20 people. All right, cool. So let's get 20 people, non-workers only, from Sector 1 to Sector 3. And let's not overdo it though, right? We want to make sure that workers are available in Sector 3 as needed. But for the time being, let's move these 20 over. And as our alloy stockpile starts to grow, we'll start to consider that second, yes, mess hall. We'll need it eventually anyway. It's just a matter of when, as it seems as though the Cryonic Center's upgrade is already done. Wow, okay. So back to the crew quarters, where we want to do what? Oh no, this needs group decryonization. So group decryonization is next. That's another 40. Yikes, I almost wonder if I'm over-investing in this before I invest in things like train stations. Because, like, suspended beds is probably also a good idea. As our population gets larger, the likelihood of more people being injured at the same time probably gets larger as well, right? Well, let's see, smart homes increases the capacity of housing by 60%. 91 is already increased by 30%, I assume. Do we need smart homes that urgently? Probably. Probably. Let's stick with the plan over here. Group decryonization is next, right? Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and do that. Then comes the smart homes, and then the train station. And God, do I really want the Exo Fighting Dome? Isn't there literally anything else? Maybe the health center. Maybe we'll do the health center so that we don't have to worry about the infirmary's suspended beds upgrade, right? 100 beds should be enough at any given time, I imagine. I hope. Sector 1? Ooh, why are people starving? Hang on a second, I don't have a food problem. Why is anybody hungry in Sector 1? Oh, I know why. Because they haven't moved yet. And I guess we just went past a meal cycle. They'll be fine in Sector 3. And Sector 3 itself is seeing this construction happen right now. It shouldn't take too much longer to get that done. And we will, yes, get all these upgraded in due time. As down over here, it looks as though our batteries are ready to go. Why don't we go ahead and get... We don't have a cargo ship here. Do I want to reassign one to bring our colonists back? That's the question. That's the question right now, because I'm trying to figure out if I want those people back here before anything else. We could get the colonists back into Sector 1 actually, and then we can just move them over to Sector 3. Sure. Why don't we do that? Let's get the whale bringing these colonists back. We can get Koala working on that as well, sure. That's a lot of cryonic pods out there. That's going to take so long for us to extract. Separately, it looks as though we are currently bringing food over to the PRECARIOUS, as you can see in the top left corner over here. And we need to build this retractable telescopic pole as well. Maybe I should prioritize that really quickly, just to get it done, right? What does it actually need from us? If we take a look over here, we'll see, under engines and external systems, 60 polymers. Ooh, okay. Sure, let's go for it. Yes. And we'll need to just make sure to actually acquire more polymers, right? We know there's some out there right now to be scooped up. We just need to remember to actually do it rather than letting it sit out there. Why don't we actually get Quicksilver over here, making polymers a priority, and then we'll just have to remember to flip back. Eventually, we'll get our carbon picked up, and we'll get the polymer refinery up and running as well. But for the time being, let's just collect the polymers and use it wherever we need to. Exterior construction, have you started yet? Where is this going to be added? I kind of want to see it get built. I'm not sure where I should be looking. It says we're about 50% done already. Oh, we're still actually bringing the polymers over. They're here now. Construction should be starting shortly. And I imagine it's going to be up over here, but I could, of course, be very wrong. Trying to keep an eye out on all sides for that telltale orange glow, right? Don't see it anywhere. Don't see it anywhere. We're about 25, 33% of the way done. And still nothing. Or it might be just an... Oh, nope. Didn't mean to do that. I was going to say it might be like an interior or a semi-interior construction, and we're still working on the interior parts. Still see nothing. Okay, can't be too distracted by this construction that we can't see, obviously, as another technology has been researched as well. Alright, enough time spent looking out over here. I don't think there's anything that's actually changing. At least I can't see it. Maybe I'm blind. Very possible I'm just missing it with tunnel vision. But back to the interior we go. And let's take a look at some of these issues we're seeing over here. My goodness. Sector 1, there are people going hungry. We need a second mess hall. Let's not mess around anymore. Let's get that second mess hall built up. Where are we? Food. Mess hall. Yes, please. And thank you. Pop you down over here. That'll be good. Do we have the alloys available already? We do not, but hopefully we'll get this built up quickly enough. When is the next meal cycle? It should be right about now, shouldn't it? A little concerning. Sector 2 has quite a few people injured. 39 crew members are injured in Sector 2. 19 need to be hospitalized still. Let's go ahead and resume this construction. When we eventually can build a hospital, we will, and hopefully it'll actually fit over here. And then Sector 2 can be both where we have industry and hospitals. I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? Where are most of the injuries likely to happen? Where all the industry is located. So that kind of makes sense. And in Sector 3, there was an accident which will almost be gone. So that's all well and good. Otherwise, what am I looking at over here? I am looking at the return of the colonists. Are they almost here yet? No, they still need to be picked up. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Taking a look at fleet management over here. All right. Again, it's a simultaneous priority, so it will take some time, which is fine by me. As separately, we should definitely take a look at our tech tree and chase after those promised smart homes, increasing housing capacity by 60%. Cool. Now over here, +2 from people living mostly in optimized quarters. I just wonder if I can't invest in swapping everybody over with great haste. Right now, let's go ahead and let's do it one by one. I don't need to deal with homelessness at the same time as everything else. That can cause a lot of trouble. So let's do it one by one. I think that's the smarter approach. As up over here, alloys will take quite a bit of time to get here, but hey, at least we're finally, seeing some good numbers up over here again. That was starting to get me a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Separately though, carbon is still a bit of a concern. I'm starting to wonder again now if yes, we do need an additional docking bay over here. Though, truth be told, this is only temporary because the Galileo is currently assigned to the Nagoya. Normally, I would like it to be assigned to the Dampier here, but right now, Koala and Whale are bringing those cryonic pods and colonists back, and that's why they're assigned over here, right? So, again, it's a temporary measure, while here in Sector 1, we are now seeing some homelessness again, so why don't we go ahead and make some adjustments. What do I wish to adjust? I think I will go ahead and maybe get rid of these two and replace them with the demotic quarters instead, because these guys have been around for far too long now. Let's go ahead and dismantle both of them, escalate our homelessness significantly, and then we'll replace them with the demotic quarters. Now, some of those alloys will be used to build up the mess hall, which is okay, I think. We could also separately dismantle this optimized quarter as well and replace it with the demotic quarters, where I almost wonder if I want to build something else here entirely. Decisions, but what I do know for sure is that those demotic quarters are a huge upgrade, right? What do we have under factories over here? Oh, the waste treatment center. Gotcha. I don't know. It's not concerned. Cell housing can fit over here? No, it cannot. Just thought I'd check real quick. But yeah, this guy's almost done. We'll go ahead and get this thing built. Do we have electronics up over here? We do indeed. Good stuff. And now, in just a moment's time, we'll have something to actually do with said electronics. Come on, dismantle this thing just a little bit faster, please. Speed time up a little bit. Almost done. And come on. Done. Cool. Took its sweet time there. Let's pop you down over here. Yeah, I think that's the right call. Get this thing built up. It'll take a bit of time, of course, but at least the mess hall over here is being completed. And you know what? Homelessness is actually not bad enough for us to have to worry about stability just quite yet. Separately, though, I noticed that water is not looking too hot. And that's because we're all out of ice. All right, fair enough. Back to fleet management over here. There's a lot of ice out there, so at least there's that. but I just wonder about bringing some of it in here so we don't have to worry about food when this drains. Negative 22.2 per cycle. That's about 20 cycles we have, give or take, of water left. So there's still some time, but we want to be careful. Maybe when this hits 6:30 or 6:35, we want to start bringing ice in, because don't forget, it takes time to actually bring the ice in and to then convert it to water as well. But nonetheless, we'll keep an eye out for it. As separately, I think we can keep an eye on, well, these guys who are actually done. Let's go ahead and build the demotic quarters up over here as well. Right, we have that, right? Did I get something wrong over here? No. Okay, that's a snug fit. For some reason, I thought I'd made a mistake there, but we did not. We're fine. We are good, and we are also good to go. Let's move the Tiqqun over to, yes, a more convenient location out over here. There is plenty to be picked up, but yeah, there's no reason to wait any further. I was hoping we'd get all these colonists back first, but it's fine. Again, this much of a distance versus this much of a distance is not that big of a difference. The Tiqqun shall head on over. Okay, so it's going to be two separate pushes, I think, because I do want to avoid these ice fields. So we'll first want to go... oh, do we have to go to a destination? So I have to go to Valiant 71. It looks like we'll naturally evade the ice fields. Can I just send it to a random location? No, I can't. It has to be orbiting something. Very well. Over to Valiant 71, because it does look like we're dodging the ice sheets, right? So let's go ahead and move. Though when I do that, do we have to wait for everything to return first? All power will be... Yeah, okay, that's all good. We'll be powered by batteries for 4 cycles. No, we can't do that. We can't last 4 cycles. We can last just about 2 cycles. And Fargo 39 is 2.7 cycles away. Okay, back to the interior over here. 2.7 is what Sector 2 can do. 2.7 is what Sector 3 can do. What about Sector 1? 2.1. Okay, that's not good. So, why don't we go ahead and switch off a couple of things over here. Let's turn you off. Got to get this up to 2.7, and then we can go to Fargo, right? We can turn the insect farms off as well, perhaps. Turn both of you off. 2.3. Not loving it. Not loving it. We could get the cryonic center off. Yeah, 2.4. Okay. Still not amazing. Probably shouldn't turn the infirmary off. We could, I suppose, turn the fusion station off. 2.5. We might just need to build more batteries, actually. I think it's getting to that point where we just need to build more batteries. We could go ahead and shut this bad boy down. And maybe for the time being, this bad boy too. 2.6, eh? 2.6. Okay, let's turn you off as well. 2.7. That's like right on the money. This has got to go perfectly for it to work out. While we still have a lot of homelessness. But hey, at least it's not impacting stability just quite yet. 2.7 across 1, 2, and 3. Cool. Just wanted to double check before we made this risky move over here. And I don't know how much it'll take for us to get from Fargo 39 to Valiant 71. Hopefully 2.7 as well, because it looks kind of equidistant. But hey, only one way to find out is to make the first leg of the journey. Over to Fargo 39 in 2.7 cycles. Let's go. Oh, God. So beautiful. So beautiful. Just nice to get that peek. And if we take a look at the interior now, everything's okay. It's a little bit darker than usual, but we're fine. Hull integrity, my goodness. My goodness. That drops at a very terrifying rate. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. Batteries are still at 2.4, 2.3. We're getting there. If we take a look at the system map, we are making our move over here. Okay, so Valiant 71. I didn't realize we had to be in orbit of a planet, but at least Valiant 71 is in a pretty sweet spot over here, equidistant from or to all of these deposits, so that'll be okay. And there's not much else we can do for the time being, apart from hope that we arrive when we think we'll arrive, right? Hull integrity is looking a bit better now. Oh, okay, I see. The EVA airlocks were shut down. Hang on a second. Okay, that extra negative 50 is from EKP travel. That's why we've taken that extra hit. But all right, I feel a lot better now knowing that the EVA airlock's not functioning is why we were at negative 114 on top of the extra negative from EKP travel. Okay, that's that's comforting. That's comforting. Separately, we've got both of these mess halls made now. This construction cannot continue because this stockpile has been deactivated for the time being. But hey, we're about halfway to Fargo 39, and we still have about cycle and a bit's worth of batteries left. It looks like a bunch of these cargo ships and well, they're all cargo ships actually, are returning. Oh, it's so cool to see how it calculates the trajectory to arrive at the Tiqqun while it's in motion. Like that's pretty cool. And oh, look at that, right? Of course, that's so sick. Look at that. Look at the space dust and stuff bouncing off of our hull. The thruster. Look at that. Oh my goodness, this game is oh goddamn cool. So beautiful. Yeah, off we go. Off we go to a new destination, a more ideal destination, and then at that point in time, we'll have to, you know, charge up our batteries, and only then will we be able to actually move to our final destination. Well, at least as far as this sector is concerned. Oh, and look at that, reverse thrusters already. Oh, we're here. Oh, cool. Nice. That wasn't so bad. And if we take a look at the, well, we don't have to take a look at the interior. We can just see our batteries up over here. We are perfectly fine. More than 2.7 cycles worth of battery, it seems, in actuality. Though we are technically still moving because we now have to rotate into our proper orientation. Shouldn't take us too long to do so. And yeah, here we are at our new destination with some battery left over for all 3 sectors. Beautiful. Wow. All right, that was nice to see. Back to the interior, where we can turn some of these things back on now, right? Let's get you primarily. Let's get you up and running. Let's go and get you and you up and running too. The Cryonic Center can wait a little bit, I suppose. The insect farms, I don't think can. Let's get you guys turned back on, and let's make sure we are producing and having access to water as well. Cool. Cool. Awesome. That wasn't so bad. And if we take a look at the system map, we are much better positioned right now. There is so much more stuff, so much closer to us, including all this carbon down over here. We got ice. We got, yeah, okay, this is good. I'm glad we made that move because all this stuff has been completely drained. All of it's been completely drained. Excellent. What's going on up over here? We still need to bring 20 more food over? My goodness. Are we working on that? Where is the koala right now? Where are you at, buddy? Where are you at? Do you not have food enough? Koala is what's currently assigned, if memory serves me correctly. Waiting to dock. Waiting to dock. Oh, you know what? If we head on to the interior. Yeah, it was waiting for food to be delivered, I think, to the docking bay. And now it's come through. It's going to pick up all that food, I assume. Yeah, and it's going to make its way over with 20 more food. 20 more food at the Protagoras will be enough for that 100 marker, and then we can actually make progress to establishing their internal infrastructure and food distribution. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Oh my. Takes time, doesn't it? At least some of this stuff is looking pretty good. We got plenty of alloys, we got plenty of iron, and we're making progress up over here. Those colonists will take some time to get here. Why don't we go ahead and get the whale focusing then on those colonists, because again we're keeping the Cryonic Center turned off for the time being, and Koala's anyway busy with other matters, and it's going to stay busy actually with other matters for a little bit longer. Don't worry, we're not going to leave this system without these cryonic pods, but for the time being we should perhaps reconsider our priorities, as down over here in Sector 3, people are still mostly living in optimized quarters, so why don't we go ahead and make some changes to that. Let's go ahead and dismantle this over here, and once it's gone, we'll, yes, replace it with these domotic quarters as well. We have electronics available over here, running kind of low. Got to keep an eye on that, right? Because we're not collecting silicon right now, and I think it'll be some time before we do restart the collection of silicon, so just got to be careful about how quickly I build all these upgrades. But for the time being, I think we're okay. And at least Sector 3 will see extra stability, I think, from... Oh, we're actually, hold on. We're already seeing that. Is that because I got rid of this one? I think so. I don't remember that being +3 moments ago. It was just +2 still, if memory serves me correctly. So this actually means we don't have to build that third one just quite yet. But, oh my goodness, it's going to take all my energy to not get upset at this gap over here. But okay, I'm going to try. We don't have the extra resources to invest right now, so we're not going to. Over here, we are building this demotic quarter still, and you know what? Water's getting real tight. We're already at cycle 635 almost, so let's go ahead and pursue some of that ice. Koala? No, you're doing other stuff. Whale, let's get you chasing after ice. These colonists can wait. They can be priority 3. Even though we don't have a priority 2 over here, they can be priority 3 because we need ice. We need ice ASAP. Now, there is some ice over here, which is good. And what we could do is nothing really. But actually, can I do this? If I do that, Yeah, they'll bring ice over. Cool. And then I can head on over to resource management and send ice from sector 3 over to sector 1. Yeah. That should immediately shipped over, hopefully. Yes, looks like it. And what has the science ship Calypso completed? Ah, yes, it's work at the Protagoras. Cool, cool, cool. We'll take a look at that in a moment's time. Just want to see this get put in place first. Yes, the ice is being shipped over immediately, and there is some surplus as well. Okay, cool. That's reassuring. Buys us some time. It buys us some time. I'm still not going to swap the whale over to the cryonic pods just quite yet. I think we need to get a bit more ice in before I feel comfortable doing that. But yes, let's go ahead and take a look at the Protagoras and exactly what we have to do here next. The resources necessary for the well-being of the Protagoras' crew have been brought aboard. As we were completing our last tasks, an invitation was found that had been left for us. Some of the older members of the Protagoras wished to meet with us. Oh, I don't like the sound of that, I'm going to be honest with you. That makes me a little nervous. End data listening protocol. What can we do here? Naomi protocol, meet the elders. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. This is just asking for trouble. This is just asking for trouble. Moments ago, we were talking about the cult of the Hull, right? And I was like, oh, where does that come in from? I didn't say it out loud, but in my head I was like, when does that start? How does that start? It can't just happen randomly. Surely it'll be an event or something. And this is probably the event, isn't it? Activating rootkit, DQG, oh, well, I mean, a bunch of letters, gibberish. The crew of the Calypso will meet with the elders. I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, but we don't have an option. Not until we're actually in orbit of the Protagoras. Oh, goodness. We have an option? We might have an option. I don't know why it makes me so nervous, but a bunch of people who've gotten to calling themselves the Elders while isolated in space for God knows how long makes me very uncomfortable. And you know what? It's actually going to be quite challenging for the Tiqqun to get up to the Protagoras. If we take a look at movement to Protagoras, it'll be 4.5 cycles. Oh, you know, okay, it's not as bad as I thought. Mac R is about 2.6 cycles, and then Tatra V8 is going to be about 2 from there, and the Protagoras isn't all that far away. We are actually topped up as far as battery power is concerned. Do we then now want to head to Valiant 71? Separately as well, though, I thought we could have brought these resources over previously. So I'm a little confused, because previously we had the option to do this without being in the orbit of the Protagoras, if memory serves me correctly, but maybe I was mistaken. Nonetheless, we'll leave it be for the time being as we continue to focus on what? This accident in Sector 3. Where is it? Down over here, almost taken care of. And the housing situation in Sector 1, which is also almost taken care of. We want to do what else? I mean, now granted, if we move the Tiqqun closer to the Protagoras, bringing the ice and the cryonic pods over will be that much faster. So there are some benefits to doing that, I suppose. I just don't know. And separately, I think it's time for the Cataphract maybe to start mining some silicon instead, so we can bring some of that in as well. There isn't too much out there. It's about a few round trips worth. We want to go ahead and empty out whatever there is as far as mining is concerned, and then we can assign, you know, at least a couple of these cargo ships to the silicon, so we have some available to build those electronics with which we can unlock more sectors and build some of these higher quality houses, right? Because let's not fall too far behind on those, as over here we actually have somebody starving in Sector 1. How does that make any sense? Population of 564. How does that make any sense? We got plenty of food over here. Nobody should be starving in Sector 1 of all sectors. I'm sure it's just a matter of topping these mess halls up and then we'll be okay. Just want to be 100% sure, though, before I jump to any conclusions. Separately, it's a bit of a bummer that research has, in fact, yes, slowed down now, but hey, pretty soon we'll have the smart homes done, right? 0.8 cycles, it says, but we know that getting another 10 science points is going to take a very long time. But after that's done, yes, I think it's train stations and the Exo Fighting Dome. Oh, no, the health center I was saying, right? Because for stability, we have memorials still available. We can even upgrade maybe the, alternative life center. As long as we have more than 400 crew in a sector, it'll help with stability. So at least Sector 1 will be able to get benefit from that. And then memorials, again, we have quite a few upgrades available here as well, though none of them are at present relevant because we haven't even built those memorials. So what I'm saying is Exo Fighting Domes can wait. The health center, I think we should probably prioritize, because that'll allow us to get rid of some of these infirmaries, right? At least that's the plan, as it stands right now. There are still a few homeless people here. because this one demotic quarter is not enough for all the people we've awoken. Why don't we then go ahead and invest some of these electronics and alloys in building another one up over here? God, I did really want to save this space for like a memorial or something. If we could fit... Oh, we can't... No, I'm looking at the wrong side. What am I doing here? We cannot fit one, eh? No, we can't. Okay, so housing it shall be then. Go ahead and dismantle this house over here, and we'll replace it with, yes, more demotic quarters. And then we'll spread that, of course, all the way up and down here. I'm just making room for all the additional people we're about to wake up before we start waking them up, because I don't want that hit to stability. Separately, water is looking kind of tight still. I don't like that. Better balance now than we had before, but still kind of tight, and we don't have that much ice here. Where is the whale? Where is the whale? On its way back with some ice. Okay, good stuff. Again, once we're done picking the ice up at the Protagoras, which we actually don't need to do. We don't have to prioritize that. We should be able to prioritize these guys. Tell me you're coming from here. Surely you're coming from here instead. Make these guys high priority just in case to make sure. And we should be fine then as more ice comes through and gets delivered here, we should be fine. And then we can reassign what this cargo ship is actually doing. Yeah, okay, good. Just want to make sure. Just wanted to make sure as we assign the next demotic quarter to be built over here, and as we speed time up a little bit, because you know what, things are pretty good. Things are pretty good. Yeah. Huh. Didn't think I'd be saying that so soon after our iron situation was so terrifying, but I mean, we got over 200 alloys now. Again, it helps that we're not shipping a bunch over to the Protagoras, though don't forget next session, or you know, within the next, I would say 10 to 20 cycles, we're probably going to be at the Protagoras, and we're going to need to provide them with another 100 alloys and another 60 polymers. So we need 9 more polymers before we're able to do that, and so we'll want to make sure we are not doing this anymore, but perhaps doing a bit of that to bring some carbon in, right? And why don't we go ahead and get you short chasing after iron as well, but as a third priority, even though we don't have a second priority. I don't know how much of it, I don't know exactly how that works. And separately, we'll keep pursuing the ice and colonists with whale. Why don't we take a look at population management really quickly and ship some colonists over, because we have 33 colonists in Sector 1, so only colonists from Sector 1 to Sector 3. And let's get 33, please. Yes, and thank you. Start the migration. We have room for 33 people down over here. No, we actually don't. Huh. All right, fair enough. Well, that being the case, we can actually, yes, commission then the construction of additional demotic quarters over here, and not have to worry about that gap anymore. That'll feel a lot better for me. Very, very glad that we could do that. This guy's being made up over here. Okay, good stuff. We're shipping a bunch of people over, so homelessness is going to still not be a problem over here. Why don't we go ahead and work towards the awakening of more people, because this building won't take too much longer to get completed, and I want to make sure we don't have so many cryonic pods that people start to get upset, right? That's obviously another thing to balance, as the koala now I think should be bringing cryonic pods back, because it's not shipping goods anymore. So koala, where you at? Did you just arrive? Koala, what are you doing right now? Retrieving resources. Oh, are you getting colonists instead? Where are you at, buddy? Where are you at? There you are. Okay, so I guess it did just bring a bunch of, yes, cryonic pods over. So we got to keep an eye on that number, right? And separately over here, this is still looking okay. We are still collecting ice, so still feeling comfortable enough about our current situation. Yeah, we should be okay. Have I overdone the fields? And should I perhaps shut some down for a little bit of time, just so that we can have a positive balance and a stockpile build up? Oh no, recent balance is looking pretty good, though average balance not so hot. Let me take a quick look over here at our tech tree, and if we take a look at the water, or sorry, not the waste treatment center. Where's the water, where are you at? Oh, fusion station. I was looking for the word water. High pressure cutters, production speed increase. Aqueous assembly line, production speed increase. Ice preparation, 15 ice now produces 48 water. Ooh, that's big. But it requires some of these older technologies, which instead needs, at the workshop, we need to get some of these upgrades going. Yikes. Okay, that is quite a bit of an investment, which I'm not looking to make right now, right? not looking to make those investments right now. We have our plan already laid out as far as technology is concerned. We're going to stick to that plan, as we're also extremely close to a major milestone as far as our population is concerned. My goodness. Kind of cool. We've done very well for ourselves, I think. We've done very well for ourselves as we are solving more problems than we're seeing, and I feel fairly confident that that situation is going to continue for the rest of our time at this sector, especially if we don't see that -1 at the bottom over here escalate any further. Alright, very good stuff. Speed time up a little bit further. I would like to see these demonic quarters get completed, and just like to keep an eye on our water balance over here. Alright, that's looking very good. That's looking very good, as is this number up over here, folks. 1,000 strong. And you know what? Strong is right. Everything is actually working optimally. Hull integrity is looking good. We have iron, we have alloys, we got carbon, polymers, we got plenty of electronic silicon coming through as well. We've gained access to the next layer of research as well, so we can start investing in some of those aspects too. The PRECARIOUS work is almost done, but I am curious now, folks. I am curious. I'd love to hear your opinions on meeting the elders. It feels like we have to, but all it says here is the Tiqqun needs to be in orbit of the PRECARIOUS, so maybe we don't have to. And if we don't have to, I wonder if I should avoid it. I wonder if I should avoid it. It makes me just a little nervous. But that's a conversation for next time, folks. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you did, you know what to do. Let me know down below by leaving a like and a comment. As always, it makes a very big difference in just letting me know what people are enjoying on the channel, what I should keep doing, what I should speed up, slow down, etc., etc. I'm sure you're familiar with the drill by now. But apart from that, folks, as always, of course, a massive thanks goes out to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.